Hello, internet people. Let's get into today's topic. It's how to deal with drunk people. I've spent 2 years of my life just going out every night and day to learn to be how to be social, aka picking up girls, right? So I don't like that scene too much, but it's a great place to learn and to experiment. But I pretty much don't like the drinking scene at all. And I left those behind. And I think drinking is a waste of time now. Alcohol is not good for you. I never liked it. I just went for learning. But surprise, surprise, life strikes, right? So it's Valentine's Day today, and it was Valentine's Eve yesterday, if that's a thing. So my girlfriend went out drinking with a crazy friend, right? So things went out of control, right? Her friend went drunk, the other table went drunk, and suddenly everyone's drunk, and then things got out of control, right? I can hear it through the phone. So it's me. It's time for me to the rescue, right? So I have to uh, go and make sure she's safe when all the drunks are around, because anything could happen when there's drunk people. They could play with knives, right? They could play with bottles. I've seen everything. I've seen people died in Sydney, right? In the drinking scene, beaten to death, right? So anything could happen. So I went and yeah, I settled things. I got her out safe. So let's see what can we learn from it, and how do we handle these zombies with class, right? All right, and this is it, right? Went out, 2 years, party scene, right? Learn learn the skills enough, way better than most people, right? Because I put in the work, not because I'm talented or anything. I just try to, yeah, just try to learn something. And then this was last night. I went, everybody's crazy, singing, dancing, and then hey, a not drunk guy is here, and then let's challenge him, right? So let's see how do we handle them. Number one, no logic, just emotions. So they'll pretty much talk like drunk people talk free flow, right? So you want to emulate that, right? You don't process through the brain. So if they said the topic is like space and aliens, you talk more space and more aliens, right? This is just an analogy. They talk a small spaceship, they talk a huge spaceship. For example, they always use violence and sex, right? To find out if you're comfortable, right? They always put out sex like dicks and stuff like that. You just act comfortable, right? Because it doesn't mean anything, right? In drunk zombie land. So a good example for it was they'll throw something crazy like you like a flying cat. Why not, right? And then if you're not used to it, you might be intimidated, right? What flying cat, right? Just throw it back at them with emotion, right? So this is an example because of stuff you say doesn't matter. So if they're saying a cat with two wings, right, a flying cat, is fine. Okay, so you throw it back with cat with four wings, but not a cat with four wings. You're gonna say it like, hey, how about cat with four wings, right? You put emotion behind because human communication is 80% tone, I believe. So you just the stuff you speak doesn't matter. You put emotions in it, right? So they will be like, cat with four wings or something like that. Just use emotion to communicate, if that makes sense. Number two, tune it up. So one thing which happened last night, which is interesting, and they used the father's death to intimidate me. So this is most of the things: violence, crazy stuff, sex. They try to intimidate you, right? That we're talking about our father died, right? So you just tune it up and throw it back with more death or more sex, right? So my grandmother passed away this month. It is true, but even though it's not true, I'll make up something like this. Why I like these kind of stuff is pretty highly creative, right? This is a kind of art, and it requires you to react immediately. This is the only fun thing that that I found uh, entertaining from going out so much for 2 years. So from the example last night, I just say, hey, my grandmother died this month. Whose relatives died? Death is soon. Is closer, right? Let's have a competition, right? And they'll be like, hey, this guy's crazy. He's more crazy than us, right? Kind of that tone. You want to throw them off because that's what they're doing, right? They're trying to throw you off with extreme topics. Just be more extreme. It's fine, and don't emotionally react as well, which is important. So, number three, lead the conversation, right? So it's a little bit complicated, require a little bit of frame, but for starters, try to be the person asking the questions, because there's this saying that wow, the person that asks the most question controls the conversation. So ask them everything. So instead of they asking you things, slowly take. So this is what I like about it. This is what it's artistic about it. Slowly take what they throw at you, right? And cook up new questions. Like um, one girl last night was like, guys don't like me. What's the problem with guys? Or things like that. You're like, oh, really? Oh, it's interesting. Uh, react with emotion, right? Interesting. Why do you think so? Why are guys like this? Why are guys like that? Blah blah blah. Use the topics she put up to ask the questions and forward back at her, so they will be always working for you and not you working for them. If that makes sense. So if this sounds too complicated to you, just try to ask more questions. Be the one that asks questions, right? Control the conversation. Yeah. So these are the free tips. Hope that they could help you if you need to deal with drunk zombies in a certain point of your life. So to recap, right? Number one, no logic, just emotions. Communicate with emotions, not what you say, right? And number two, tune it up, right? What they say is extreme, put it up a notch and throw it back at them. So if they're talking about dick jokes, a little bit, just do the counter, right? So every guy is saying they have the biggest dick, right? Just go the opposite. Yeah, the smallest dick. So what? Now let's see who has the smallest one, right? Something like that when it comes to sexual topics, right? And then number three, lead the conversation. Try to ask more questions. All right. That's it for today. If you want a written version, click the link below and keep growing. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.